Hi everyone and welcome back to A Spring Snowflake. Today I am going to be talking to you about the projects, works in progress, whips if you will, that I have taken into 2026 that are within the category of scrap happy. So following the challenge that I have set myself to concentrate this year on the little bits, the leftovers, the minis, the bits that are kind of 50 grams or less, or I'm not even giving myself a goal in terms of like the weight of the skein. It could be a 100-gram skein that's been frogged from another project. But that is my goal for this year. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and look at the last video. I'll chuck it up in the card, where I talk about the challenge that I'm setting myself, and hopefully you, if you want to come along with me, to use up all those leftovers. And we have monthly prompts, nudges, little nuggets to kind of help to potentially put you on a focus for the month, or at least that's helping me at the moment, which is really good. But yes, I have a total of, I wrote all of my the projects that I was taking from 2025 into 2026. I am filming this on the 16th of January. I'm hoping I can get it out on the 16th of January, but we will see. I have already started a couple of projects. One is a commission for my mother. One is another version of the love note. This is the love note that I made myself a couple of years ago, and I am making a scrappy version, which I'm currently working on a vlog of how, like, where I fit that in and where I'm working on it and things like that, so you can see it grow. But yes, I'm going to show you today 8 projects. The other ones that are not what I wouldn't say kind of fit within the scrap happy parameters that I've set myself. There are another 2, 4, 6, so 10. So I have taken into 2026 from 2025 18 projects, which I think is not that bad. You might be staring at your screen in horror. But yeah, so I'm going to show you 8 things. There are a variety of different things here that I'm taking into 2026. Some that are long-term projects, some that I started in December. And we're just going to pick them up. So first things first is my, for those of you who were in with me for Vlogmas, you'll recognise this bag. This is a little grey girl drawstring with 2 straps bag. I love it. It fits a couple, like a 2 skein, 3 skein project, and in here is my scrappy cow. This is the Advent project that I started working on from what is affectionately called my Dragons Advent. This is a group of us who chat. There's 7 of us, and we do a little round robin Secret Santa style Advent swap, and my lovely friend Julia was the one who sent me these minis. So I am about 2/3 of the way through, I believe. I've got these left skeined up, the blues and the purples. Really enjoying it. This pattern is the Simply Scrappy Cowl by Curious Handmade, Helen Stewart. And it's a simple 6-row repeat, mostly just round and round and round knitting with a bit of eyelet detail for interest. So that is the first and the most recent of the scrappy challenges. I'm literally just going to chuck them on the floor and tidy up later. So next thing is actually one that's been on the hook for a while. So I'll show you it. I wove this, that's the top, isn't it? I used to have a rigid heddle loom, I do not anymore, but I wove this kind of dishcloth cotton placemat. It's quite large, and it sat in the middle of our table on Christmas dinner, which is nice, out of Lily Sugar and Cream dishcloth cotton, which is a worsted weight cotton, a while ago. And for those of you who do weaving, you'll know that there's quite a lot of wastage. So with those kind of long-ish pieces of wastage, I decided to get a square kind of pleather base and make a basket. So this is the basket. I have got 2 kind of different colours of pink, this kind of coral pink, and then this bright pink. And then the other predominant colour within that was this grey. You'll see in the woven piece, there is also a rainbow colour changing yarn, which is this one. And I basically took all the little woven ends, ends, and put them into a ball. Just did a simple kind of overhand knot, because I undo it all the time. And basically what I've done is I'm doing a spiral of, I started at each of the four corners, and each of the four yarns are chasing each other. So you will see, hang on, this is probably the best side to show you. There is one loop. There is another loop. There is another loop, and then there is this one as well. So there are four working yarns going around this basket, kind of spiraling up around each other. So we have, let's work this out. We have one row of coral, one row of grey that is then interspersed with this colour changing yarn. So I basically just crochet over the grey until I run out of this colour changing, and then I go back to the grey. I then have a bright pink, and then I have another row of grey. I did have quite a lot of grey left over, but just in these really long, and if I open this knot up, hang on, they're quite long pieces of waste from my weaving. So that is where quite a lot of these rows are coming from. And I have actually, this is a completely freehanded, I just came up with this myself. I'm not following a pattern. Once it's done, I might write the pattern as a blog post and just chuck it up on Ravelry so people can use the, what's the word I'm looking for? Use the recipe. But it is, sorry, I'm just doing this note again. It is called the linked treble, or linked double, I suppose, if you're in America, stitch. I'm hoping that focuses. Yes, which is essentially a 3-stitch Tunisian simple stitch. Yeah? Yeah. So to do a linked treble, I can't remember who I followed a tutorial for the linked treble. I think it might have been the Crochet Project because they use it in one of their patterns. But I will see if I can find a decent tutorial, and I will pop it in a card. But it is essentially, instead of when you're doing a treble, UK treble or US double crochet, instead of doing the yarn over before you insert your hook into the space, what you do is you insert your hook into that kind of vertical bar that's halfway up your standard treble, and pull up a loop, and then put your yarn into the loop of the stitch below you. So I will try and pop up a link to a decent tutorial, but it gives you this really kind of dense fabric that has very little holes, and actually gives you can see it stands up quite straight. So my plan is to basically keep crocheting this until, oh, hello focus, hello, there we go, until I run out of yarn. And it might be that at the top there's more coral, there's more pink, there's more grey, but it's fine. It's a basket, and then I will just fold it over to the height that I want it to be so that it is sturdy. But yes, I was complaining today at Craft Club about how much wastage there is when you do weaving, and I don't have my loom anymore. But yes, this is a way of using those scraps if you wanted to. So I'm going away this weekend, and I might actually vlog it. But I might take that with me. The thing with this, and this is why it's one of the longest running whips, is because I'm using a 4.5mm hook. I'm quite a tight crocheter, but even 4.5mm on dishcloth cotton is quite tight. And I did that so I could have this like rigid structure. But it does hurt my hands, so I work on this fairly sporadically. But I might take it away with me because I'm going to have a lot of free time in a hotel room on purpose. But yeah, I might take that with me. Right, as I've turned round, I'm going to grab this one. This is a basket that my lovely friend Laura, who is sewn and shown on Instagram, made for me from a kit that I purchased from Thimble and Thread Make, who is sadly not making anymore. But there was a kit, basically it was just add fabric. She gave us all the things, and this yarn I bought off Spoonflower. It is Dice, because she is a goblin, folks. That is her other passion in life. In here is my jig shawl, which is a pattern by Stephen West. That's the back, which is a modular, scrappy shawl. This is so many bits and pieces, so many leftovers. There's fluff in here. There is, yeah, this is a modular shawl, and it's made by holding yarns double. So the needle size I'm using is a 5mm, which, yeah, for holding fingering weight double is about right. But yes, there's so many different yarns in here that have memories. One of the yarns in this section is from Woolen, I think 2019, called C'est La Vie, based on the Irish band Bewitched. There is this fluff is called, I think it's called Unicorn Massacre by Dye Candy. There's all sorts of yarns in here that are just so much fun. And this pattern is very much, it's by Stephen West, it is modular, it's all garter stitch. He gives you very good instructions of which section to go to next. Sometimes you're holding stitches, but this is the very definition of scrap happy. And I haven't worked on it in a while, and I need to pick it up again because this month's focus nudge is combine, which you're combining 2 yarns here. You combine 2 yarns in this. There's all sorts of ways of taking it, but combine at its very essence, holding 2 yarns together. Brilliant. Okay. What's this one? This one. We're going to do this one. This is a Hide and Hammer bag. It was the standard roll top. I've had this for years. Quick segue. For those of you who are on socials, and particularly those who are in the UK, you will know that we lost the lovely Noo in a really tragic accident. I was very fortunate to call her a friend, and one of my best experiences in her presence was when I was fortunate enough to booth buddy her at that 2019 Woolen. If you would like to see, I'll pop that vlog in a card, because that shows Noo as everyone loved her. So I have purposely moved quite a lot of my projects into Hide and Hammer bags. You will only see 2 of them because the others are not scrap happy. But yeah, this is my roll top. One of them, I think they're at the 03. In here is my tessellated cardigan, which is a Tunisian crochet project. It is a cardigan, as the name suggests, and I'm making it out of an advent. This is the Fibre Fox Enchanted Forest advent from 2023, I believe. It wasn't 2024. And I am quite a long way through this, actually. I didn't realise how far. I think it is going to be cropped. This is as much as I've got left, so I'm going into the kind of yellows and browns now for the bottom. But what I'm doing with this is I'm basically using up the yarn. So as soon as one colour ends, I do straight in, and I'm doing one row of so it's tessellated by the fact that it's Entrelac Tunisian crochet. So I'm doing one row of the body, and then I'm doing one row of each of the sleeves so that I can keep that colour fade consistent down the body. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It doesn't feel like it grows fast, and then you look at it and you go, oh, it has. So that is, the tessellated cardigan is a pattern by Abby Maid, who is a prolific Tunisian crochet designer, and I really enjoy the way that they set out their patterns in very kind of, it's all boxes, and for me it's quite a satisfying way of reading a pattern. So I really am enjoying that one as well. Right, we're going to turn around again. Yes, this one in another Hide and Hammer bag, which is I think 04, which is the one that has the popper at the bottom. You can popper it so it's a big wide thing, but when you want to sit it on a table, you can pop at the bottom, and it's a bucket bag. In here is the working bits of my gingerbread blanket. The actual bits of my gingerbread blanket are here. Oh goodness me. So this is a bag I made. But yes, the gingerbread blanket was a crochet along last autumn in 2024 for a blanket that was designed by Lottie and Albert and promoted by Sirdar. I have done the gingerbread house for the middle. All of the yarns in here, I did not buy the pack. It's all, it's a DK weight pattern, but I have been using both DK and also fingering weight held together, basically to use up scraps. It's a very kind of rainbow style blanket. There's a lot of colours in it. And currently I am working on is that the front or the back? I don't actually know. The sweater panels, as they're called. These will eventually, hang on, so these go on the outside of the gingerbread panel, but in between the gingerbread house panel and these panels are a fairy lights kind of colour work border. But yeah, and this is not even, so there's 4 of these, and then there's 4 corner squares, and then there's more, and then there's a border. So this is going to be a really big blanket when it's done. I kind of lost the love for it a little bit, but I've done too much to frog it. So my aim for this year, particularly with the Scrap Happy, is to bring it out in months where the theme fits. So things like bold month will definitely be, this will definitely be pulled out. So yeah, it's not, because it's a blanket, it's because it's festive themed, it's not something that I will be pulling out all the time, but I will make a concerted effort to pull it out when the prompt so moves me. Okay, I'll still go up to here. Oh, hello, what was that? Oh, why is that up there? That's the whiteboard marker that my husband borrowed off me yesterday. Right, in this bag, which is a bag by, I can't remember, but it's got gorgeous, look at this sparkly bottom, and the flower crown animals. This is my Radiating Squares blanket, which is my pattern, and it is my take on a mitered square blanket. This pattern came out in 2021, and this is the original blanket, and it's not finished, which goes to show that when you're pattern designing, you don't necessarily need to finish the project. The pattern, just to give myself a small amount of self-promotion, the pattern is a Tunisian mitered squared blanket. Because it's Tunisian crochet, you don't have to turn it, which was my biggest issue with mitered squares, both knitting and crocheted, because when you're working on tiny squares but you're having to move a massive blanket around, so this is all worked on the right side of the work, which makes me happy. The pattern itself is a recipe, so I give you an example based on a DK weight starting square, which technically the starting squares, and I'll pop a photo of, is a 4 square, but I give you suggested starting chains, numbers. I also give you suggested hook size for the weight of yarn you're using, and then there's also video tutorials. So it's more of a recipe than a pattern, hence the reason why I released it before the actual original blanket was done. But it is basically a memory blanket. It's called the Radiating Squares, and I think about 10 squares away from finishing, or rather squaring this off to a size that I would be happy finishing it. So I'm going to do that. And you'll have seen me in Vlogmas when I was at Carry On Crafting Christmas. We laid it out and kind of had a look at how many squares I would need to add, and it was basically 24. So a scrappy advent, my other scrappy advent that I got over Advent, plus a few extras. So I would really like to square this off within the next couple of months, and then see if it's about the right size that I want it, and then border it. And then once that's done, I will actually add border instructions to the pattern and re-release or update. Okay, that is the Radiating Squares. I'm going to put that back up in the cubby so it's out of the way. I think the last one, oh no, there's one more before I show you the last one. This is the most ridiculous stuff. These, and I haven't got one to show you, but I will pop a photo. These are what I'm calling my emotional support chickens. Now I know there is an emotional support chicken knitted and crocheted pattern out there. These came from me trying to work out what to do with leftover squares from a blanket that I was frogging. It was a temperature blanket that I started last January 2025. Did January, hated it, separated all the squares, and then went, what can I do with squares? Apparently make triangular chickens. So this is literally, and I will link the pattern because it is a pattern. 2 squares sewn together or crocheted together over 3 sides, stuff it, and then squish it so that it becomes 3D. Sew up those sides, add a crest, add a beak, add a tail, chicken. I've made a lot of these. I still have quite a lot of these to finish. You also add eyes. And I've been selling them at craft fairs as emotional support chickens with a little card to explain them. And I've made quite a lot of them. I've made quite a lot of money on them, which, like, when I finish them, I'm going to have to retire it from the shop because I don't, these are just solid grannies. But, yeah. Unexpectedly wonderful. These are in a bag by Callockshire Ellen, which is kind of autumnal themed. But yes, they're double knit, awesome. They've used up quite a lot of scraps, which has been really nice. Right, last thing, which is technically 2 things, but that is what I'm calling my worms projects. So, for those of you who've been around a long time, A Spring Snowflake is also my side hustle, my small business, and I teach people and make things out of I-cord. Sorry, I'm coming off shot to show you. Out of I-cord or French knitting using a French knitting mill from Tulip. Other ones are available. This one's the best on the market. I also sell these. So, because they're my business, I always am trying to think of creative ways of using I-cord other than the ways that I teach. So the ways that I teach I-cord is I teach people how to use one of those knitting mills. They produce long worms. And then the worms that we make within my classes are double knit, usually acrylic or cotton, and then we shove wire in them. And because the gauge is always the same throughout one of those knitting mills, double knit actually produces quite a stiff, I haven't actually got a double knit tube up here, but it produces quite a dense tube of French knitting, but it means that you won't see the wire when you are putting it through and then shaping it. So we do, my best-selling class is Woolly Wire Words, which is where we make the cord, stuff it with wire, shape it into a word. There's been some really awesome ones, I'll pop some on the screen, of some of the people who've come to my classes. But one of the things that I saw years ago, and it's why I wanted to buy one of these mills in the first place, was actually New, who had got herself one of these, a cheaper one, stuck an electric drill in it, and done meters and meters and meters of this with her leftover hand-dyed yarn. So this ball of gorgeousness is all hand-dyed fingering weight scraps. And it produces a much looser, well, it's the same gauge, looser tension, I suppose, strand, which you can then use as super chunky yarn. So, I have knitted it. This is just, oh hello, don't lose your stitches, Sophie. This is just, these are 15mm straight needles, garter stitch. Part of this is my Dragon Advent from last year. You'll see the fade from the lovely Laura. I've also crocheted it with this 15mm hook. The crochet one is still attached to that ball I just showed you, and I've just done a simple moss stitch, which is double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one all the way across. And this is again just a little strip. So yeah, and these come to shows with me. I don't know if I'll finish them, but it's a really good way of using up your scraps. Every time I change colour, I basically do a French knot, magic knot, but I don't snip the ends. Let's see if I can find the colour change. There. So I do, let's give myself some length. I do myself a magic knot. There we go. I do myself a magic knot. I keep the ends long, and then once I've got it off as a kind of ball like this, I will go through, and as I'm coming up to knit it, I will take a tiny crochet hook, which comes with the knitting mill when you have it, and I will literally stick it down the tube and kind of pull the ends down the tube. I don't trust magic knots. They come loose. But if you've still got those ends in there, it means that actually when they come loose, you can tie them together again. So yeah, super chunky yarn, knit it. Lovely. The other thing I show and I'm working on, oh, this is in another one of those bags. Oh, here we go. So Can Jo also made this is in a cabin in the woods, frosty cabin in the woods bag. So Can Jo made these. I don't think she's making it at the moment. Other things I've been making with the worms in this East Anglia Yarn Festival tiny bag is bow chains, which are just simple little bow made with a worm. I've got loads in this bag ready to go. They all need to be cut to the same length and then made into this chain of bows. I'm planning for my shows. My next one's not until May. To make this as I make a rainbow of chains, and then it will go on my stand. I'm teaching in May. Is there another one before that? No. And then Carry On Crafting It will adorn my stand in July. I'm also doing the Wool Monty teaching before that. So this is just another way of kind of showing people what you can make with your I-cord that you make through your French knitting mill. There was a quick tutorial for these as part of my Vlogmas, which I will turn into a YouTube short, Instagram reel at some point. Haven't got around to it yet. But I'll again pop a link up in the card to that Vlogmas video so that you can go and see how I make the bow chains. I also was commissioned by a friend to make a Christmassy bow chain, which was in green, white and red, and that now adorns her one of her daughter's beds, which I'll pop a photo here. Okay, that is it of my projects that I've taken from 2025 into 2026. Some of them are a lot older than 2025. Some of them were a lot newer. I don't get worried about the amount of projects that I'm working on because I'm very good at frogging. So if at a point, and we do have a frog or finish section month as part of this Scrap Happy Challenge, but if at any point I'm going through my projects and I go, I haven't touched this in a while, why? And if it's, I just don't like it anymore, or it's just not me, or I'm making Amelia a cardigan and she just doesn't like it anymore because I've taken so long. That has happened. I'll frog it. I have absolutely no qualms with it. And that's why the Scrap Happy Challenge exists, because there are certain things that I have started over the years and then put down and not gone back to. And then when I do eventually go back to them, I'll go, there's a reason why you haven't worked on that. There are some projects, and I'm looking at I keep my projects either in this column of my Kallax unit here, or in a Raskog cart, which I will insert some footage of so you can see. A lot of people have these because they're so useful, from IKEA. Everything. This bedroom is an ode to IKEA. But yeah, this cart is really handy for putting all the smaller project bags in. Blankets tend to sit in that column, but everything else tends to sit in the Raskog cart. And every so often, if that reaches capacity, I will go through things, and I will either repurpose, give away, or frog. And that is what keeps it all interesting. So actually, my aim is always less than 20 projects, because I like to keep things fun and changeable and all that kind of stuff. And you never know when you want to pick something up again and just do a few stitches on it. But for now, for 2026, the projects that I want to give the love to are those 8, plus the 2 that I also cast on. 2? Yes. In the last 2 weeks. One is a commission though, so technically not a WIP, even though it is, but because it's my mother's asked me to make it for her on a deadline. Yeah, it's not, I don't class that as one of my projects. It's a commission. Anyway, that is all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I'd really like to know in the comments below of the projects that you've taken into 2026. Now, all of those were yarn related, but any kind of fabric related ones or anything like that, what are you taking in, what have you taken from 2025 into 2026? Are you still really enjoying them? How many of them are scrappy? I'd really like to know that. The comments on the last video, and thank you so much for those of you who watched it, and thank you so much to those of you who came over to me for the first time and watched one of my videos, because that was awesome to watch the numbers of those views. I think that's probably my... No, I don't know actually. It'd be really interesting to look at the stats from my old planner videos as well. But from the kind of yarny content, I think that's my best performing in terms of views. And people who stayed to the end, thank you. So yeah, do come and chat to me, because there were some amazing comments about what people are working on, how much scraps they've got, all the kind of plans, and that was so lovely to hear. So please do carry that conversation on, or come over to my Discord channel, the link is below, and have that conversation over there. It's really nice over there because you can share pictures. We like the images. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.